The ball is snapped, so now what happens? Let's match it up.
So we've got second down and looks like about an 8. Line of gain is a 20. You can see it's another tight formation, but we have to ask ourselves, where's everybody looking? So looks like we got a tight end up here. We've got 2 receivers out here. Now we're going to assume one of them is on, one of them's off based off of our angle. We don't have that. I'm going to say that the slot guy is probably off. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're good. So we got a good formation in that regard. But here's the interesting thing, and I hope you can see it. I try to do high definition. It kind of depends on your internet connection. Look at these 2 receivers down at the bottom talking to the flank official or the line of scrimmage official. They're trying to figure out if they're lined up. They're both looking at him. And number 3 is given the, hey, I'm supposed to be a back. And if you look at it, you can kind of see the blade of grass. You can see that there is separation between number 3 and number 5, I think this is. But they're looking for that assistance, and as they're looking for that assistance, what happens? The ball is snapped. In fact, the guy on the end doesn't even know the ball is snapped. So the point on that I wanted to bring is that as an official, we're there to help. I mean, we're obviously, we're not coaches, and I'll let Mark, decide how the OCFOA guys, how you flank officials you want to communicate. When I work the flank, when I work the wing, I just tell them where they're at. I don't tell them if they're good. I don't tell them if they're bad. I just say you're on the line or you're back. Some people say I'm the line, and that's fine if that's what you want to do. I personally say, like if I had these 2, I'd be like, you're a back to the slot guy, you're a back, you're on the line, and then I'm done with it. Because now it's up to them to make the adjustment. Because I wouldn't want, going back wide on this, I wouldn't want to become distracted by dealing with these guys, and now we have a snap. And this is important to note if you are a flank. And I'll bring Mark in real quick because I want to ask Mark just for the OCFOA guys and the other California guys. Mark, how do you want your guys to do it? The blade of grass. I mean, how tight do you want them to be on those formations? And how would you like to see them communicate with the wide receivers?
Well, I'm a flank official. Personally, I like to talk to my receivers, and I encourage them to tell me what they think they are. For instance, if they point at me, that generally means I'm on. And if they push back with their hand, I'm off. Not everybody does that. And if they are doing that, then I just nod. Yeah, you're good. You're good. I may even say you're good. We try to make them legal unless they're gaining an advantage. So if the blade of grass thing, unless it's ridiculous, we're trying not to call illegal formation unless it's absolutely necessary. And talk them out of it.
It's a game.
Yeah, I hate that call.
It's a game interrupter. Exactly. Yeah. So, all right, back to the play. Oh, we don't need that. I don't know what the heck. Why is that coming up? All right. Back to the play. You can see the slot guy is saying he's a back, so that's fine. But now let's see what happens on our play. We know where everybody should be looking because we have an end here, so that's going to go to this flank. We got a back judge here who's actually in the beginning of counting his play clock, but he's going here, or I don't think he's going to go here, even if his key was the end of the line of scrimmage to the strong side. There's nothing going on there. Why would you? I would think if you were this back judge, you'd want to sneak here. And I think if you were this line of scrimmage official, this is probably where you're going to start because that's what's going on. And then you're probably going to be able to bump to help here. Now, going back to where everybody should line up, our umpire should maybe be over here, OCFOA. If you do other things, you can see our referee. Now, our referee also has to recognize that he might not be getting help with this tackle because there's receivers down here. He's just got to, he He might not. So that's just something to be aware of. And then our umpire, same thing. He might not be getting help with this tackle if this receiver runs out and is pressed, continued to be pressed by that defensive end. These are just things to consider if you're an umpire and a referee. Take a peek at the formation. Take a peek at what the defense is doing. Because then you also have to ask yourself, if you're the referee, who is my first threat? Because I don't need to watch a quarterback catch the ball. Who's my first threat? I got a defensive end here going up. Maybe he's gonna engage, maybe he's not. I need to be aware of that. I need to see where my first threat is. Same thing with the umpire. Where's my first threat? And be ready to go there. And I think sometimes we forget that. We don't need to watch people catch balls, per se, especially a quarterback. We can see it out of our peripheral. So here we go. Now, we've got a running play. We've got the quarterback handing it off to the running back coming across. So now we have to ask ourselves, now, it was this defensive end who comes in. That is a matchup. If I'm the referee, you can kind of see him here at the edge of the screen. This is where I'm going. This is mine right there because I got nothing else. That's point of attack block, and it's right in front of me. I better know if this block is legal or not. Now, it's real important. A lot of times I talk about things, and I'm not necessarily saying that something on the play is illegal. Most of the time, all this is completely legal, but you better know. You better know why it's legal because you don't want to guess and you don't want to have your eyes somewhere else when the illegal thing happens. So when we walk through this, I'm not saying that it should be an illegal block or anything like that or a hold. It's just who's watching it and who's going to keep an eye on it to make sure it's legal. And right now, everything looks legal, but I'm hoping our referee is watching it. So now he goes by. Now we've got a second level. Now what happens, we get through that first initial block, and plus we've got another block here that we need to clear, and I'm hoping that, our line of scrimmage official is looking at that. Maybe our referee's going to have to pick up two, but I'm hoping that he's looking at that because I'm hoping our back judge has got this. Now this is difficult as an official to see if you're the flank, if you're the line of scrimmage official, because you've got traffic and you got this guy still having a conversation with you down here. So it's important, to be able to recognize that and move your eyes. Ignore this block initially. Why? Because I hope I have help on this block from a back judge. Because who's looking at this block? That's a lineman. I don't think our back judge is going to throw a holding on a lineman from 25 yards deep. It could happen, but these are just things to be aware of. So if I'm that flank official, if I'm that line of scrimmage official, I'm looking at that block on defender number 44 first, and I'm going to clear it. Now it's cleared. So now our runner is going to another level. So now we've got a new level of blocking. And we've got a lineman engaged right here. I'm hoping our umpire is on that. It looks like he is because that came from that side initially. And we still got this, but now once it's by, if I'm the referee, I better be just clearing it, making sure that there's nothing cheap, and then moving on because there's other blocks that are potentially more point of attack or more crucial because that one's no longer a crucial block. So we can see everything looks good. Feet look good. The feet work. Number 50 is in good position. Number 71. Number 67. So we're observing. Now, I don't know if you see this right here. There's a potential hook and turn, a grab there. It's potential. I'm not saying it's a foul, but if the film is being broken down, you can see where the arm is. Now, still frame, it might not mean nothing, but you do it real time, what happens? Oops, it jumped on me. Let me go back. It jumped on me. So you go real time, it's nothing. I mean, it looked like a little whoop-de-doo, but the running back was already by it. But if you don't see it, and a grader or somebody says, "Hey, did you see that? What'd you think of it?" "I don't know. I wasn't looking there." So it's being able to rule on that because that's really the only issue at that point is that block. And it's tough. I get it. It's tough. If our umpire's is looking at it, great. Hopefully, maybe our wing or our flank has moved to it. But, all right, it's cleared. Now our next block is right here, number 3, okay? So that's our next block. And if I'm doing point of attack, if I'm this flank right here, down here, then that's where I'm going. Back judge might be going there too. He now might help with the linemen because it's all downfield. It's a running play. It's dynamic. We're moving to the competitive matchups. What is point of attack? Now we're running in space. There's only one block, and you can see our back judge has moved to this block. You can just tell he's looking at that. You can kind of tell that our flank official is probably looking at that either, or looking at that, because that's it. That's all that's going on. Now let's let it play out. We've got number 3 is engaged, and our back judge is stationary, and he's looking at that block, which is good, but we've got a goal line, and we've got a ball carrier out in space. I think if I'm this back judge, I'm going to start angling towards the goal line. And the reason is because this is a potential goal line play. I'm still watching this block, but this block isn't that big of a deal because the running back is clear of it. He's well clear of it. You're going to have something blatant, like a takedown that everybody in the world can see before you're going to go anything. So you can just keep an eye on that. Number 5, and the defender here, that's your last potential competitive matchup block. And this is a 2-person game between our flank official and our back judge. And I know, I think next week, Chris Coyte's going to talk about movement, flank movements and stuff like that, because I don't want to get too much in that. I want to steal his thunder, but this guy's moving too much. I would have held a little bit more, because what's going to happen at the end of this play, we got a potential step out there, and you can see he's looking at it. Now, I'm not saying he stepped out, but it's potential. But what really comes into play is at the end here. Boom. Is that a touchdown or is that not? That's a tough play. And if you're looking, I don't see a back judge. If I was a back judge, I'd want to be right here in a good position to help out, because I've got goal line on this play. I would need to be able to help. I'm not in a position to help, I don't believe, at least from what I can see as a back judge. I needed to close down a little bit, set myself, so I can offer some assistance right at that point, because who knows what happened there. Now, you can see I let it play out a little fast. Our flank official comes down and rules it a touchdown. But there's some stuff going on too, and I still don't see a back judge. I don't see a back judge anywhere. I see one official and a lot of different players. I would have liked to have seen another official there personally. But right at this point, I'm trying to stop it right at the point where he crosses, because that's the point, like right there. You can see, is he out? You see a pylon, who's touching the pylon? You know what? I don't know, because this is a mess. This is one of those 5-person mechanics things that it puts us in a bad position, but we just have to do the best we can. And I don't think we can come up as much as I'd like to. I'd like to say, ask this kid in the white hoodie, or maybe these, hey, did he get in? Because they've got the best view. They got the best view of this, but we don't have that option. We're not going to look at their film either. But it's important. You have to make a decision. But I think if I'm the flank official, I'm looking to my left, right there. I am looking to my left just to see. I want to see if my back judge has got anything. If they're just looking into space, I know this is all me. If my back judge is coming in hard, marking a spot, then I better not go up touchdown. And I do like his mechanics after that, because he goes up touchdown later. He waits, he sees, he takes his time. The only thing critical that I would even say, like I mentioned, is right about there. I'm going to be looking to my back judge, because I want to know if my back judge has anything on this one. So I'm going to bring in Mike real quick. Let me bring in Mike. So Mike, as a wing, and I know you work a lot of wing, flank, line of scrimmage, and a 5-person, we should be looking, at least taking a glance and saying, do you got anything? Because this is a blow up. And really we're kind of guessing a little bit, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We don't have goal line responsibility primarily. We can certainly help on the sideline, and the back judge had better look to us to make sure that if he did have the goal line, broken, then he needs to make sure that it wasn't a step out. So we should be making eye contact with our back judge on this play before we make any ruling at all, especially if we didn't have him step out.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we should be doing, because we don't want our back judge doing something else and we're doing something else. So I'm going to bring in Robert. Any questions on the text, Robert? Anybody have any other comments or something? Or do you have a comment? You're a back judge. You know how this works.
Yeah, everything you said, Tim, everyone's agreeing with. There are some that may have a little bit more insight than we have. We have some viewers that just claim that the back judge didn't make it to the goal line. The video doesn't necessarily show that. Maybe they are the back judge. I don't necessarily know that. But I think we can all agree that we want the back judge to have set eyes. And you have set eyes when you own the goal line. That's your priority, because you are there before the ball gets there. Now, most of us humans need to make sure that we are set, and then our eyes are able then to go down the line. Whether that ball crossed the goal line or didn't cross the goal line is your call. That's your call. Now, you obviously need to communicate with the wing. That is a certainty. But you have valuable information, and if you don't see the wing killing it and you see the wing looking to you, then you need to come together. Because depending on your communication pregame, you have to understand that this is a situation where you have goal line responsibility. It's a pylon play. Your wing official is going to have sideline responsibility. But if you have that ball breaking the plane, then you have that information you're going to share. You have them in because I got the ball breaking the plane. Let's go up together. That's a beautiful thing for everyone to see. You have a joint communication. You thought it through. You knew your priorities. You got it right. If you have that ball short, though, short of the goal line, then you're coming in that field of play and you're coming in hard saying, I've got them short. No matter what happened to that sideline, because that ball and that goal line is the back judge responsibility.
No, you're right. And going back to the play, to the people, I think maybe the back judge did get there. So we're not trying to be critical. We're just trying to get better. But at this point, what I was saying is that right now, if I was this back judge, I'd be moving here instead of watching a block that really doesn't mean anything, because I would want to get in a position to where I could close it down and then potentially have a better look at it, be set exactly like everything you said, Robert. But it looks like he's just kind of out there. Now, it does look like he is at the goal line. We kind of lose him in the frame. But I think we'd rather see him kind of in this area, and that looking kind of how he is now, being ready to do everything you just said, Robert. And I think that's really the issue on it. We're just talking about mechanics and what the best position to be in to make a ruling on a play like this. So hopefully we got that cleared up.
Hey, Tim.
I'm going to bring in Mark. Gotta get right back to Mark. Here you go, Mark.
I loved everything Robert said. That is exactly what I would want to see in that kind of play. The thing that bothers me the most about the back judge is it's obvious where that play is going, and he's standing still. He should be hauling ass towards that, towards that sideline. Yeah, he doesn't want. You do want to stop. He can tell if the ball is inside the pylon or not. He has vision, to the arm. I just don't understand what his motivation for standing there is. He's not doing any good, and I just don't like it. I really don't. But what Robert said about getting together, that is absolutely dead nuts. Perfect.
Well, and that's absolutely correct. And that's the issue, is that from I don't care if this is a touchdown or not. You can't tell from the film. It's a blow up at the pylon, but mechanically, the back judge has primary on the goal line. I guess yes, the flank can help. They do, but they have primary. And if I'm a flank official, if I'm a wing official, I'm coming down. I'm looking, and we talked about this with Mike because I don't know. I can't say I know because I'm not on the goal line. I might know sideline, but I better get together at some point. And a lot of times, I might even go down there to signal touchdown. I'll point at my back judge and let him go with it because he's got. If I see everything inbounds, you got the goal line. You go touchdown. I'll go clean up because I don't need to look pretty. I don't know about you guys, but I don't necessarily. I mean, you look pretty enough sometimes. So, all right.